The Warriors fell short of winning their 4th title in 5 seasons, but don't even try to tell Klay Thompson the dynasty is over. So even though Klay says not to write off the Warriors, Stephen A. Smith, is Golden State's dynasty done?
Yes, it is. And we all know how I feel about Klay. I rave about him at every turn, being one of the top 5 shooters this game has ever seen, arguably top 2. And I still feel that way. I think he's phenomenal. But I think the thing that we have to take into consideration, and Klay has to take this into consideration, it's not about your talent. It's about fatigue. It's about attrition. You've been to 5 straight NBA finals, and there were times last year y'all just looked completely worn out. A matter of fact, as the NBA finals waned, you had guys scared to go out on the court because they were wondering who is next. Kevin Durant goes down. Klay Thompson goes down in game 2. Andre Iguodala gets hurt. DeMarcus Cousins got himself hurt. I mean, the list went on and on. Kevon Looney and others. The list just went on and on and on. I contend that if the Golden State Warriors had a healthy Klay Thompson that didn't get hurt in game 2, that didn't miss game 3, that didn't play on one leg in game 4, that didn't go down after having 30 in the 3rd quarter in game 6, I contend the Golden State Warriors would be the champions right now without Kevin Durant. But nevertheless, here's what it comes down to. Kevin Durant is gone. You brought in Willie Cauley-Stein, D'Angelo Russell. Andre Iguodala is gone as well. I think that's a big component that they're going to miss. And I think that the Lakers are so formidable and the Clippers are so formidable. They are my 2 favorites, LeBron with AD, then Kawhi with Paul George. Not sleeping on Portland, but I look at the teams in L.A. as having an edge over the Golden State Warriors and Klay Thompson, even if he is healthy. And
Denver and Utah are also going to be tough. Look, I agree. It's L.A. this year in the NBA. That's what it's going to come down to in the Western Conference, I think. And I like the Clippers over the Lakers, but you can make a hell of a case for the Lakers. So where does that leave Golden State? Where does that, right, and we'll argue about that all season, I'm sure. Where does that leave Golden State? On the outside looking in, particularly with Klay Thompson not available for, we'll see if he plays next season at all. They still have Steph. They still have Dre. They brought in D'Angelo Russell. We'll see if they keep him or flip him. But the point is, the real essence of that team, to me, more than anything, is Steph and Draymond. Will they make the playoffs? I believe they will. They will not. If they win a playoff series, that's a big thing for them. They're not going to advance far. Does that mean it's the end of the dynasty? Does a dynasty need no break in making the finals in order to still be a dynasty? I contend, Stephen A., that in the 80s we had concurrent dynasties. The Lakers and the Celtics, they're both dynasties. But there were seasons where one or the other did not make the finals. Philadelphia won a championship in there. Sometimes neither one won the finals. Yet they were concurrent dynasties because the core of each team remained the same. And those teams had success on the highest levels year in and year out. Even if they got stopped in the conference finals, they were competing for titles. The kind of highest level of intensity of the dynasty is over. I agree with that. But I think the Golden State Warriors will win a championship in the future with a core of Steph, Klay, and Draymond. I'm not sure exactly when that'll be, but I think they have enough time going forward that they will do that. And therefore, since they will also be a powerhouse every year while those guys are healthy and together, I can't say the dynasty's over yet because they're not done winning championships, in my opinion.
Well, Max, I'm glad that you emphasized that because for clarification purposes, I'm just saying they're not going to the finals this year. I'm not saying that, I'm not taking the position that, okay, I'm not refuting your notion that you don't have to go to the finals every year to be a dynasty. I agree with that because you might not go to the finals next year, but you might go to the finals 2 years from now. And then over the span of 10 years, you might have been in the finals 7 or 8 times. So I get that. But I am saying that I believe in the LeBron James, Anthony Davis era, with the Kawhi Leonard, Paul George era, I'm going to be hard-pressed to foresee the Golden State Warriors being in the finals over the next 2 years. I think they'll be one of the Final Four teams next year. I think they're going to get to the semifinals of the Western Conference if Klay Thompson comes back healthy. I think they're going to make some noise.
What do you think of the Golden State front office?
Say what?
What do you think of the Golden State front office?
Well, to me, I'm a fan of Bob Myers. I think Steve Kerr's phenomenal, but I'm a huge, huge fan of Joe Lacob. No question about it.
So the ownership
my
and
man.
the front office and the coach are all strong.
And I know he's a winner.
I'm particularly talking about player acquisition, right, and drafting. What I'm saying is this. They acquired D'Angelo Russell. I do not believe he will be there for the long term, but I do think he's a good trading chip. Right? I think he's a good asset. So when you talk about when Klay gets healthy, you have two of maybe the two greatest shooters ever in their primes on the same team at the same time with Draymond Green, still maybe at the tail end of his prime, and an asset you can flip for something else really good, and a team that can draft and develop players. They're going to be a powerhouse for the foreseeable future, but they're going to take a break next year because Klay won't be available.
Well,
that's it.
Well, I think you have to pay attention to the team that the Los Angeles Clippers have, led by Kawhi and Paul George. And in the case of the Lakers, how formidable a 6'9", 260-pound locomotive that is LeBron James with an attitude and something to prove, along with Anthony Davis, who's a top 5 player in the world, the kind of profound impact those two can have on a basketball game. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.